Hello and welcome to a review of some of the highlights of the 2015 F3 Cup season. After the opening two rounds of the British GT Championship at Alton Park, the championship moved on to Donington. Away we go, except for Daniel Tapanos, who stalls it on the line and is late away as it's the bright red car of ex-Formula Renault racer Kieran Vernon who leads the way into Redgate, and then it's Aaron Steele who slides through into second place. There is Matt Payne in sixth as Daniel Tapanos has recovered, so down through the Craner curves for the first time. And Kieran Vernon leading, streaking clear of Aaron Steele. Then we've got Stuart Wiltshire, much ever present in the F3 Cup, just ahead of ex-GT Cup racer Jacopo Sebastiani. So that is the leading quartet, and then next along it is Adrian Holy. Daniel Tapanos already up ahead of Matt Payne as they head on to the club straight for the first time. Now the key here for Kieran Vernon is going to be to try and break clear early on, because those of you who got long memories in the F3 Cup will remember Aaron Steele's dominance of this category a couple of seasons ago, and Aaron Steele trying to close up into the toe of Kieran Vernon in these reasonably early stages of the race. They've got plenty of time to play with. It's Kieran Vernon trying to break clear of Aaron Steele. Then we've got Stuart Wiltshire who stays with the pair of them as they head through McLean to Coppice. Then we've got Holy and Tapanos. Now always the challenge in Formula 3 racing is that these cars, relatively speaking, you've got more grip than power, and therefore very, very short braking zones, which means you can quite quickly caught up in the toe of, or the turbulent wake of the cars ahead of you. But that doesn't deter Tapanos. All but that does, as he flicks the car sideways, and all credit to Adrian Holy for jumping on the brakes, because that was very nearly the end of two Dalaras as Tapanos got it all sideways in his 2011 Dalara, because one of the big changes for the F3 Cup this year has been the introduction of slightly more modern specification F3 machinery, whereas Adrian Holy is running in a 2000 specification Dalara. The heat haze shimmers as Kieran Vernon accelerates down towards the chicane. This has been an absolutely imperious performance from Kieran Vernon. He flicks through and is about to take the checkered flag. Meanwhile, Sebastiani and Tapanos are going to get one more lap out of this, so Kieran Vernon has taken the race win. But who is going to hold on for fourth position? This is where the race is, as Sebastiani finds himself squeezed out by Tapanos as they swoop down through the Craner curves on the brakes into the old hairpin, opportunity to ride the curbs and then continue accelerating, swooping through Schwantz curve and uphill into McLean's. Now this means that Sebastiani's only really got one golden opportunity. He can challenge into Coppice, but it will compromise him down the back straight. He thinks about the challenge into Coppice, asks a lot of that car's aero package through Coppice, but it works, so he's got the run now on Tapanos. Here they come down the straight for the final time. Daniel Tapanos defends to the inside line, and I think that's going to be enough for him as he snatches the brake. As long as he doesn't get it all sideways, he doesn't. Daniel Tapanos holds on to claim that fourth place ahead of Jacopo Sebastiani. Revs rise, and away we go. Oh, and Kieran Vernon bogs it down. Fantastic evasive action from Daniel Tapanos, as it's Stuart Wiltshire who takes the lead the race from Tapanos, and then Jacopo Sebastiani and Matt Payne as they head through Redgate for the first time. Kieran Vernon some way back in fifth position as they swoop down through the Craner curves in the late afternoon sunshine. That may make a tinted visor a necessity. A bit of dust being kicked up, as already gaining the place is Kieran Vernon. He moves clear of Matt Payne as the pack begin to climb through Schwantz. Stuart Wiltshire leads the way, breaking clear of Tapanos and Jacopo Sebastiani. Kieran Vernon trying to close up onto their tail fairly rapidly. He's already pretty much with them, isn't he? As a slightly snatched break from Tapanos as Kieran Vernon, despite having lost all that ground on the grid, he's about to propel himself past Jacopo Sebastiani as they arrive on the brakes into the chicane, and that's a beautifully judged move from Kieran Vernon. So he slides through. At the very, very, very back of the pitch, you just caught a glimpse of Aaron Steele, who started it from the pit lane, as now Vernon looks to make the move. Tapanos squeezes him, but Kieran Vernon, having absolutely none of that, slides past and up into second place. Now, how quickly can he reel in Stuart Wiltshire? That is going to be something to enjoy over the next few laps, as will be the progress of Aaron Steele, Tapanos and Jacopo Sebastiani picking up pretty much from exactly where they left off in race 1. As they begin to ease their way uphill through McLean's and Coppice. And these Formula 3 cars are so enjoyable to drive. They really are miniature F1 cars, and Sebastiani gets it all wrong and skitters through the gravel trap at Coppice, somewhere in the dust. He will rejoin, but he has lost all that ground to Daniel Tapanos, so Tapanos is third place. One would suspect is relatively secure, as already Kieran Vernon has got himself onto terms with Stuart Wiltshire. Doesn't really gain ground. He now looks to the inside into Redgate Corner. Wiltshire sees him coming. The two Chris Dittman Racing teammates running as close as you like, and that is not what the team will be wanting to see. They want their cars to be racing and showing well. They're certainly doing that. They don't necessarily want two very battered Dalaras at the end of this race. So Stuart Wiltshire continues to lead. Great performance this from Wiltshire, as Kieran Vernon now having to dig a bit deeper into his box of tricks. He's tried the two main overtaking opportunities. Now he's having to see if he can catch Wiltshire a little bit unawares. Well, a pair of them have got an awful lot of ground to play with here, so they don't need to concern themselves too much about slowing each other down. So again, Wiltshire able to have a sufficient buffer over Vernon into the Robinson chicane, but Vernon gets a great exit and now looks to draw alongside Stuart Wiltshire, and this should be advantage Kieran Vernon. Wiltshire, I suspect, will have to concede. Indeed he does, and that was a beautifully judged move from Kieran Vernon. Magnificent run through the Robinson chicane and just carried that momentum on the exit, and that gave him the pace to pass Wiltshire. But now the boot is on the other foot for Kieran Vernon. He needs to defend from Stuart Wiltshire. As now Aaron Steele has got the run on Stuart Wiltshire. They climb out of McLean's into Coppice. Still not quite close enough to challenge Wiltshire into Coppice. Will he be able to do it into the Robert chicane, or possibly in towards Redgate Corner? Those are two potential opportunities for Aaron Steele. He thinks about the move into the chicane, and he's going to make it stick. Glides past. Very fair driving as well from Stuart Wiltshire, who realised that he was coming and didn't feel the need to unnecessarily chop across his bows. So that move is completed for Aaron Steele. Vernon has been a star performer at Donington Park. He accelerates now towards the Robert chicane for the final time. He's going to make it a clean sweep of wins in the F3 Cup. Completely dominates the weekend as Kieran Vernon takes the checker flag. The Chris Dittman Racing team celebrate. Vernon will be overjoyed with that after stalling on the line the perfect comeback drive.
We then headed on to a round on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit.
As the revs rise, and away we go. Brilliant start from the red and white car of Louis Hamilton-Smith, who gets the jump with Aaron Steele as they sprint towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Also a lightning getaway from Stuart Wiltshire, as he moves clear of both Daniel Tapanos and Tony Bishop as they plunge down through Paddock Hill Bend and then climb up Hailwood Hill into Druids. Tapanos meanwhile also does battle with Bishop. It's Tapanos in the black car who moves clear. Out front though, it's Hamilton-Smith from Steele, the pair of them already moving away from Jacopo Sebastiani. And then it's Stuart Wiltshire, Daniel Tapanos and Tony Bishop, that leading sextet, well ahead of the rest of the pack. Through Surtees on the brakes into Clearways, and then picking up the throttle out of Clark Curve through the slight compression along the lengthy right-hander known as the Brabham Straight, before they begin to aim for that blind entry into Paddock Hill Bend. These Formula 3 cars braking very, very late indeed. A little bit of a wiggle there from Steele as he keeps his foot in, climbing up towards Druids again with the aerodynamic grip available to the drivers. They can brake very late for the hairpin. Swooping down into Graham Hill Bend and then the short sprint along the Coupe de Straight. Many of these cars in period wouldn't have raced on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit unless their provenance was in the F3 Euro series. The Indy circuit, by and large, coming off the British Formula 3 Championship schedule at the end of 2004. Dizzyingly quick laps here, and then qualifying, Aaron Steele on pole with a time of 43.409. It's a little bit further back down the pack from Tomat, under pressure from Ashley Crossley. Crossley in the silver Enigma car, one of the cars in the trophy class, as he looks to make the move to the inside of Tomat as they climb uphill into Druids, and Crossley goes through. Now this is the best run that Steele has had all race, and Hamilton Smith has to defend into Paddock Hill Bend. Indeed he does. Now, can Steele get the switch back? He can't. He just was blocked out on the apex at Paddock. It means he couldn't carry that excess momentum through. Beautifully judged defensive driving there from Louis Hamilton Smith made it impossible for Aaron Steele to find a way around him. And so Hamilton Smith maintains the lead of the race. And they are on the last lap now, so just a couple of corners remaining. Steele has done remarkably well, really, to stay as close as he had to Hamilton Smith throughout the course of the race. But it's Louis Hamilton Smith who accelerates through Clark Curve for the final time. The checkered flag is ready and waiting, and Louis Hamilton Smith takes the win just from Aaron Steele. And then we have the wait for Jacopo Sebastiani to flash through across the line in third.
We'll be back with more F3 Cup after the break.